Hello and welcome to this practice of prenatal yoga. Today we'll be practicing modified sun salutation A's. So if you're in the first, the second, or the third trimester of pregnancy, you may feel a little bit differently depending on where you are in your pregnancy. So making some adjustments as you move through your pregnancy. You can always eliminate postures, you can add them in, just making sure that you're doing whatever feels comfortable for you, and also following the pregnancy safety guidelines that I'll provide in a link down in the video description. So welcome, and we'll start out here making sure that you have a blanket for comfort for your knees, and having 2 blocks just in case you need them, okay? So we'll be making our way from down on the mat up to standing, and then making our way back down onto the mat. We'll do 3 rounds of sun salutation A's. We'll be moving nice and slow, breathing, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, okay? So we'll start out in child's pose, taking your knees as wide as you need to make room for your belly. Walking your hands forward nice and slow here. You can always use a block and put a block underneath of your forehead, and releasing your head down for 3 breaths. Dropping your hips to your heels. And for some of you, it may be more comfortable to lift the hips up more into more of a puppy pose or anahata asana. You decide what gives you the most room for your belly and your baby. So then rising up onto all 4s, hands and knees, drawing your knees back underneath of your hips if you took them out wider, and placing the wrists underneath of the shoulders, spreading your fingers nice and wide and pressing your fingertips into the floor. During pregnancy, you want to make sure that you're only practicing cat and not cow. So you're keeping your abdomen engaged and not dropping your belly here, okay? So think of hugging your baby in, and then exhale round, press the floor away, drop your head and look back, and then inhale, come back to a neutral spine, again, hugging your baby in. And then exhale one more time, rounding through your spine, dropping your head, looking back. Inhale and lengthen. Good, we'll do that one more time. Exhaling and rounding, really hugging your baby in. And then inhaling and coming back to a neutral spine. Opposite limb extensions here. So taking your right toes to the back of your mat, you're on the ball of the foot with the heel facing up. Keep your head in a neutral spine. Press through your right hand and your left knee as you extend your left arm forward here. Fingertips reaching forward. The heel is reaching back. If you feel balanced here, you can lift that left heel or right heel up towards the ceiling here. Balancing on your right hand, left knee. One more breath. And then slowly releasing the hand and the knee down. Circling the pelvis around to release your spine here. And then changing directions and circling the pelvis the other way. Good. Moving on to the other side. Taking your left foot and extending it to the back of the mat. Pressing through the ball of your foot, reaching your right fingertips forward here. If you feel balanced through your left hand, right knee, you can lift that left heel up in line with the pelvis. One more breath here. And slowly releasing it down, coming back into your child's pose, taking the knees as wide as you need to, walking the hands out, and releasing the head down. 3 breaths. Inhaling and looking forward. We're coming into what's called rising snakes here. So you're spreading the hands are in line with the shoulders, and you're keeping your torso and your belly low to the floor. Your elbows can move straight back or out to the side until your chest reaches the level of your hands. Press the floor away, round out through your spine, drop your head, think cat pose. Bring your hips back to your heels. We're gonna do 2 more of those, inhaling and looking forward, sweeping your belly and your chest low to the ground until the chest reaches the level of the hands. Keep your feet connected to the mat, round out your spine, look back, and bring the hips back to the heels. Keep those feet touching the mat to keep your core nice and engaged here. One more time. Just like a snake, moving across the jungle floor and then rising up. Good, bringing the hips back to the heels. Inhaling and rising up onto all fours, untucking the toes for downward facing dog. So pushing the floor away with your hands, hover your knees for a second and then press the hips back towards the back of the mat. Good, drop your head down, look back, and then bring yourself back onto all fours, hands and knees. Good, we're gonna do that 2 more times. Exhale, push the floor away, lift your knees, the hips move back, the belly and the chest drop towards the upper thighs, and then inhale back to all fours. Good, one more time. Exhale, press the floor away, lift the hips, press them to the back of the mat. Drop the chest, look back, and then inhale back all fours. We're coming up to standing here. So walking your hands back towards your knees until you can lift your knees up off the floor. Keep walking your hands back, 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 until they reach the feet. Start to walk your hands up your shins, up to the tops of your thighs. Kind of see how you feel here. Make sure you're not feeling dizzy. And then slowly rolling it all the way up. Inhale, take the arms up. The palms come together at the top. And exhale, the hands to the left. Good. We're going to start our 3 sun salutations. Inhaling and taking the arms up. Exhale, shoot your butt back as if you were coming into chair pose. So imagine that there's a chair behind you here, and then keep moving the hands down towards the floor. Walk your hands forward until you can drop both of your knees at the same time down to the floor. Lengthen through your spine, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Hug your baby in, exhale, round, press the floor away, look back. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine, but keep your baby hugged in here. 2 more. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. 1 more. And inhale, back to a neutral spine. Opposite limb extension, the right foot moves back, the left arm reaches forward here. You can keep the toes on the ground or lift the heel up and then release it down, other side. Slide the left toes back, reach the right arm forward here, and then exhale, take it down, child's pose. Bringing your hips to your heels, take the knees as wide as you need them to be, release the head down, 3 breaths. Inhale, look forward, 3 rising snakes. So keep your feet connected to the mat, shift your body forward, slide that belly and torso along the floor till the chest reaches the level of the hands, push the floor away, round out through your spine, look back, hips to heels. And again, using your upper body and your core strength here. Don't let the chest go past the hands. Good. 1 more time here. So only bringing the chest to the level of the thumbs and then push the floor away as to not overextend or hyperextend through the spine. Inhale, rise up to all fours, downward facing dog. Untuck or tuck your toes. Hover the knees for a second, lift the hips up and back here. Chest and belly moving back towards the upper thighs, dropping the knees back to the floor. And then starting to walk the hands back towards the knees, lifting the knees up from the floor. Keep walking the hands back, drop your heels, walk your hands up to your thighs, slightly bend here, and then slowly rolling it up, coming all the way up to standing. Palms come together at the top. And exhale the hands to the heart. 2 more. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, chair pose, dropping your buttocks, making sure that your feet are hip width apart here. Good, keep moving through that chair pose. Release your hands down to the floor, walking your hands out, dropping the knees down to the floor. Cat-cow here, or as you were, just cat. Lengthening through the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Pressing the floor away. Inhaling and lengthening, hugging your baby in. Exhale, press the floor away. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, push the floor away. Inhale, lengthen, opposite limb extension. Take the right toes back, reaching the left arm forward here. You can lift the heel if you like, and then release it down. Other side, taking those left toes back, right fingertips forward. Exhale, take it down, child's pose. Hips to heels, walk the hands out, and release the head down. 3 breaths. Inhaling and looking forward. 3 rising snakes here. Keep the feet connected to the mat. Use the upper body strength, elbow out or straight back. Push the floor away. Look back, bring the hips to the heels. 2 more times. Inhaling as you move forward till the chest reaches the thumbs, then push. Round out through your spine, drop your head, look back. Last time, inhale. Bring it forward. Exhale, push. And round through the spine, hips to heels. Inhale, come up to all fours, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Push the floor away with the hands. Lift the knees. Press the hips back. Dropping the head, looking back at your belly button. And then dropping the knees down to the floor. Walking your hands back to your knees, lifting the knees up and beginning to walk the hands, drop the heels. Keep the hands moving up all the way up to the thighs, slowly rolling it up. Inhale, coming up to together here, and exhaling the hands to the heart. We're going to add in some hip circles here. So circling the hips around, making sure that the feet are hip width apart. You can take one hand over your belly, just kind of making that connection with your baby. Other hand comes to the heart. And allowing the movement to come from your pelvis, not necessarily from your torso. So keep circling the hips around. And then bringing yourself back to the center after that next rotation. Feet are hip width apart. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, shooting the butt back through your pose. Keep going, releasing the hands down to the floor, walking the hands out until both of your knees touch the floor together. 3 cat's hair. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen, hug your baby in, and then press the floor away, round out through your spine. Inhale. 2 more. And last one. Inhaling back to neutral. Opposite limb extension, right toes back, reaching the left arm forward. You can lift the heel or keep the toes on the ground and then release it down here. Left toes back, reach the right arm forward. And release it down. Child's pose. 3 breaths. Take those knees as wide as is comfortable for you. Inhale, look forward. 3 rising snakes. Use that upper body strength. Keep the feet connected to the mat. Nice and slow and controlled here. Or you can always rest in child's pose. You don't have to add in the rising snakes. You're only doing what feels good for your body today. Good. One more time. Exhale, push and round through the spine. Bring the hips back to the heels. And then slowly coming up onto all fours, tucking the toes. Hover the knees, push the floor away, and then press the hips up and back. Looking back at that beautiful belly. Inhale, drop the knees to the floor. Begin to walk hands back to your knees, lifting the knees and dropping the heels as you walk hands back. Take the hands up to thighs, move nice and slow as you roll it up. Bringing the arms up, palms come together. And exhaling, hands to the heart. Here. So taking one hand to your heart, the other hand comes to the low belly. So just making some contact and connection with your baby here. Inhale, take your hips back here, slightly bend your knees. And as you exhale, bend the knees a little bit more and scoop the pelvis forward here. Inhale, take the hips back, bend the knees. Exhale, scoop your pelvis forward here. 3 more. Inhale, shift the hips back. Exhale, scoop the pelvis forward. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. And one last one. Inhale the hips back. Exhale, scoop the pelvis forward. Release, inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, take the hips back. Pass through your chair pose. Release the hands down to the floor. Slowly walking your hands out until both knees can touch the mat. Taking the knees wide, child's pose. 5 breaths. Inhaling and slowly walking your hands back towards your knees. Bring your hands. Its ability to create, bring new life into this world. For this day and for this life that we live. Bringing one hand over your heart and one hand over your abdomen. 3 breaths. Noticing any movements from your baby. And knowing that with every breath that you take, it's a breath of life for your baby as well. So breathing fully and deeply. Inhaling all the way up to the top of the inhales and exhaling all the way down to the bottom of the exhales. And just deciding for how long you'd like to be here, breathing, nourishing and nurturing your baby. You can stay here as long as you like, connecting with your heart center, connecting with your womb space. And this practice of prenatal sun salutations is complete. Hari Om, Tat Sat. Thank you for joining me, and have a blessed, beautiful, and joyful day. Thank you.